great is it that we barely have to think for ourselves, or we don't really have to, use our brain power too much for too many different things, because we have, technology to help us out, and, it's great, but it's also very detrimental to our well-being and to, everything from our mental well-being to even physical well-being. It's so tempting. It's so tempting to just let everything be easy and be just automated and apply no thought at all to it, But I don't personally like doing that. Even when I thought I did like it, I noticed that I had a very weird feeling about it. Like, not like, oh, machines are taking over or anything crazy like that. But, I was always afraid of becoming dumber. I was always afraid of becoming more lazy and less active. And, efficiency is great. Efficiency is one thing. Having the medical tools to help us, discover issues faster, or, having the resources to do research faster or anything like that. All that stuff is great. But the thing is, if you don't have something that helps keep your mind fresh and active, it's kind of a if you don't use it, you lose it situation. Even with GPS, take GPS for example, or, your phone's contact list. I used to be able to remember every single one of my friends' phone numbers, my family's phone numbers, everybody. I remembered it by heart. I didn't even have to put it into the contact list when I first got a cell phone. Now, I have a hard time remembering anybody's phone number. And I really try to put the effort in to remember things like that. And with GPS, I used to be able to find my way. If I got lost, I'd be able to find my way at least back to where I started, or, back in the right direction of where I'm trying to go. And I'd be able to just use my brain to get back into, where I was supposed to be at. And with GPS, I find myself, I have to retrain myself. Even right now, I'm driving to work, right? And for the first, I think, 3 or 4 days, I used GPS to get there. And I think it's a total of 5 turns to get there, over the course of about a half hour. But what I do is I like to challenge myself to be able to get there without the need for that. First of all, I can't record these podcast episodes when my phone is hooked up to my car, or if I'm sitting here watching the GPS. The way my phone is set up, I can't record these podcast episodes without with doing all that stuff. So, after the third day of doing something and paying attention to it and really focusing on doing it, I try to do things to fade out the GPS so that I can remember how to get there on my own. If I have to find an alternate route or whatever, I do look on the GPS, but I also try to figure it out with the map itself. I try to pre-plan my route. If I can avoid watching the GPS, I try to listen to the instructions the GPS gives me and just make myself mentally aware of landmarks and what signs I should be looking out for and things like that. And then what I do is I just fade it back, as soon as I can. I try to really push my brain to force it to memorize things. I used to be really good with that stuff, and now my memory's shot, between, drinking and smoking throughout my teenage years and stuff like that. I find my memory is just, on top of having ADD and ADHD, my memory is just shot. And I really do things to try to work on it. I've tried to, add more systems in place and, with remembering specific things. And, I try to push for that. I think it's very important that our brains go back to be self-sustaining in most cases. I think it's very important to keep our brains as fresh as possible because, like I said before, if you don't use it, you lose it. And none of us want that. None of us want, certain things that come along with your brain deteriorating and not, really making it fire off and kind of exercising that as a muscle, Same thing for your body. just because something's easier doesn't mean that you should use that thing. I really like the concept of standing desks, and there's different challenges that come along with that, from like your feet hurting and things like that. But there's also ways to work around it. There's like specialty shoes that nurses use if they're on their feet for 12 hours, and there's mats that you could use if you're working a desk job and you want to use a standing desk, but it doesn't seem like it's feasible because of foot pain or knee pain or whatever. And there's certain physical things that can restrict you from doing it too. But my point is that I try to look for avenues in my life where I can incorporate all these things. Even when I use my desk for work, I try to build myself these stands so that I can raise everything off the desk and just stand up and when I've been dormant for too long and not stay stagnant. And I think that's been a key in my success lately, is that I don't like being stagnant. I don't like my body being stagnant, my brain, my anything. I really like to push to make things different and improve on things. And, I just wanted to share that with you guys because I think it's, like I've been saying, very, very important that you do that. You have to exercise your spiritual muscles, your physical muscles, your mental muscles. You have to really keep these things active and not just fall to the wayside, because that's when you start noticing problems. I always associate comfort with stagnicity, and sometimes that's the case, sometimes it's not, but I like to keep that in my head because I'm somebody who can fall into that comfort realm very easily. And whenever I have in the past, it's usually become a situation that's not beneficial to me. So it's something I want to change and I want to improve on. So I just use these tools. I wanted to share them with you guys. If you find any of this interesting, you want to know more, or you want to get in touch with me to use my services, check the show notes and just click the link and get in touch with me, guys, and I can help you out. I can do, programs for you. I can just talk and listen and whatever. So hit me up if you want. I hope you guys found this interesting. If you did, please share it with somebody, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye now.